So we're headed out for a late season doe hunt, and the biggest buck of my life shows up. Okay, there's the big 8. So the story of this big 8 really starts out back in 2022. A really symmetrical, nice, typical 8 frame, a little bit smaller brows. That season, he was a pretty consistent deer on the property. He's hanging out with the rest of the 2 and the 3-year-olds. We had 2 encounters with him. One, he was out in IMAX feeding on the beans. And then another one, my dad was able to film out of the bat blind where he was feeding in that bottom food plot. He was an aggressive deer, a lot of interaction with the other deer in the area. He was making himself known, and he was becoming, a core buck. So we were really starting to keep tabs on him, and he was making that list of the deer we're watching for the future. That same year, so it's just after the hunting season. It's February. We still have our reveals rolling. We like to keep track of the deer, kind of monitor for shed hunting. We like to go out on the property. One day we saw he had a full rack. He comes back through that property in that cut cornfield, and he's only got a half rack. So 2 days later, we go out, me and my brother, and we bring my dog out there. And my dog Moose picks up the one side of that nice 8-pointer. A few days later, on the other side of the property, we're able to match up that full set. And now we're starting to build a history with this 8-pointer. '23 was really my quest for primetime. He was the more mature deer on the property that year. I was fortunate enough to get him really early in the season. He was hitting on our food plot sources and a water source we had. We have a really great hunt breakdown on that as well. Throughout the course of the rest of the year, there was 2 real main bucks that stood out that we were keeping an eye on. One was a buck named Patches, and then the other one was that really nice 8 that we found the full set to the year prior. Patches really became the core buck of that area. And that really nice 8, his pattern changed a little bit, started to become what it seemed more like a loner. He was kind of off on his own, and he wasn't quite as frequent on the property, but he was still consistently showing up sporadically. Fast forward, we're through the end of the season. Again, we're out looking for sheds, and sure enough, we're able to find, another half side of this guy, and it's a lot more mass than we were expecting. So now the season is here. It's 2024, and just like, we were seeing the year prior, Patches was really the main core buck of the area. He was there throughout the summer and very consistent in through the early season. And then all of a sudden in October, we have another deer show up, and this is it. This is the big 8. He had really blown up. His rack is a lot bigger than we had seen before, and he was starting to make his presence known in the area. So now we got 2 mature 5-year-old deer on the property, and we're just trying to get an idea of how they might interact with one another, hoping they're not going to push one off the property. So game planning with my brother and my dad. Mike, our father, had a really big history with Patches, and it was really a deer he was set on getting this year. And after a few close encounters, mid-October, my dad was able to finally get his hands on Patches. So now Patches is gone, and the dynamic has changed. So this leaves room for another mature buck to really come in and make this his core property.
I'm excited to introduce a brand new Deer Society video series called The Art of Deer Hunting. Now within this series, we have categories such as the art of calling, the art of food plots, the art of scent control. We're gonna detail and break down all things in these categories plus more, from trail cameras, stands, scrapes, all things related to successful deer hunting is what this series is all about. This series is a culmination of all the information we've received internally from some of the best deer hunters across the country and the methods they've used to successfully harvest mature whitetails year after year. This is called The Art of Deer Hunting. on the Deer Society YouTube channel.
So now as I'm hunting more consistently through the pre-rut, 2 bucks have really moved in and become the core ones. One is a buck we called Warthog. He was a nice, thick, really compact 8-point. He was just kind of a beefy deer, so he looked kind of like a tank or a warthog. And the other buck I was targeting was this big 8 that I've had all this history with the past few years. Warthog was the more consistent one of the 2 deer on the property. I had my first encounter with him at IMAX, and he was just all over the place that night. Warthog's still really consistent on the property, still hunting hard. I got a lot of good, consistent intel. Warthog in the middle of the property. So I'm sliding in early day, the day before gun season, trying to make my move. JJ wants to get out too. He throws up on a fringe spot out on the property. And as he's setting up, there he is, the big 8, and he's just watching. A couple days later, mid-gun season, that first weekend, Warthog, he gets shot by the neighbor. So now the pressure of the gun season is over. And that really nice 8, he's become a little more nocturnal. He's not as consistent on the property. We're just kind of sitting back, we're watching the cameras, trying to come up with a game plan and just see how things are going to play out and see if we can find some patterns. We're pushing into, more of the late season type hunting. So this is when we're just hoping that all the work we put in on our food sources will come into play, and this will be maybe our new strategy on how we can get a shot at the big 8. Late season, gonna go on a little doe mission tonight. I got JJ, my brother, behind the camera, and hopefully we're gonna tag team on a couple does here and cap off the season. So the season's getting later and the temps are getting colder. And we're starting to notice he's starting to daylight more, and he's starting to show up on these food sources a lot more consistently. It's December 17th, we have a weather front coming in, and it's a cold day. So me and JJ are heading out to the bat blind to go after the big 8. But this particular day, it just seemed to be really dead, and we almost had no activity while we were sitting out there. But then all of a sudden I looked up, and there he was. Jay, there's the big 8.
You got him. I think he's down right there. It's crazy. All right, got it.
So after reviewing the footage, I was a little nervous because I hit the shoulder, but after seeing it, I could tell I punched right through there. I drilled him. He didn't go more than 80 yards.
He died right here.
Died right there. But then he went lay down or crashed into it. Holy cow.
Thank you. Well, I'll pick him up, see how stiff he is.
Wow.
Well, he looked so tall when he came in. That's when I started kind of like,
Well, maybe I should.
Turn him a little bit. Look at the size of those G2s.
good
G3s.
side's on my left, I feel like.
Yeah, he's a stud.
He's a stud.
And you know, this is really the moment we all live for. I was able to share this recovery with my brother and my dad, and we're able to close another several-year chapter on the Big 8 here at the Whitetails from Scratch farm. Here he is, Big Minnesota 8. It's December, it's late season, snow's flying, getting cold. Had this guy on my mind all season, and you know, wasn't expecting him to come out. Like I said, we were just out looking to get a couple does, me and my brother, and the only deer to step out all day was this guy. And came right in. I couldn't pass up the opportunity. My first time actually seeing him on hoof this year, and I couldn't be happier right now. Oh my gosh. One of the keys to this hunt was using the history and the camera intel to really understand this deer. You know, really using all this to put the big picture together, finding his sheds, learning his bedding patterns, you know, his feeding habits throughout the courses of the year through the different seasons, and really putting the big picture together on how this deer is going to behave. The next key factor is really trying to understand the dynamics of how, you know, multiple mature deer can coexist and behave around one another. An example of this season was, you know, Patches was really the main core deer. My dad harvested him. Warthog took over, shot by the neighbor, and that really enabled, you know, the Big 8 to come in and make this his core. And the last key to the hunt is having that, you know, late season food source and really maintaining a low pressure, low key hunting strategy. This really allows a mature buck like this to feel comfortable in the area and, you know, be willing to show himself in daylight.
Thanks for watching this Deer Society Hunt Breakdown. Subscribe to the channel for more great educational content to help you become a better hunter. From podcasts to the Art of Deer Hunting series, hunt breakdowns, tips, tactics, and a whole lot more. The Deer Society is all about deer hunting education.